What up? This is Jared.
This is Kills.
Back at again with another episode of Bikini Bottom Banter. And we got a alright one.
Yeah, they're okay. Yeah, these are okay episodes.
This is alright, you know? So Club Spongebob and My Pretty Seahorse. So we'll start off. Well, one of these things is better than the other. Alright, so Club Spongebob. Squidward is just going out on a little bike ride, and then SpongeBob and Patrick in a treehouse are essentially just making fun of Squidward. And this is my first mistake. Now, they've been trapped in this treehouse for, they said, 3 days.
Yep, 3 days.
Instead of asking for help, they first resort to, hey, look, it's Widward. Widward's going to work. I'm like, they're really making fun of him. Like, they should have been asking for help.
Right.
So, you know, they taunt him to a point where he's like, you can't come up here. You couldn't get in here if you tried. And it turns out they were trapped for 3 days and they've been stuck in there. So, Squidward being tired of it, he literally is like, you know, I'm going to get myself out. But then it actually, what does he pull the branch? And then
it becomes like a slingshot and they fly like, I don't even know where they flew to.
You know, but I like it, though, because it's a new part of Bikini Bottom we haven't seen.
If it is Bikini Bottom.
It's like, you know what it reminds me?
That's like going to the Pine Barrens.
Yeah, low-key. Or when you're on a highway and it's just forest and it's out there, like, who's living out there?
Exactly.
They flew.
Oh, my goodness.
There was one couple, Make-A-Wish, honey, and they're probably wishing to get out of there, too.
Right, they're probably lost.
So they get stranded, and, you know, essentially from that point, they need to come up with a plan to get out, but instead of maybe a smoke signal, rocks, or whatever, trying to get to the highest point, they're going to depend on the magic conch shell. Well, at least SpongeBob and Patrick do. Squidward thinks that it's completely stupid, which leads into him saying, okay, well, you know, I'm just going to find my own way, and it fails. Until help comes, because they do nothing.
Right.
So, you know, and from that point, you know, it's the usual Squidward, like, getting his comeuppance, you know, with Patrick and so on. I won't get too into it to not break down jokes, but essentially, Keels, what was your favorite joke in this episode?
Honestly, the favorite jokes were just the magic conch responses.
Okay.
He's like, oh, can I have this delicious meal? No.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think that's the meme worthy of the episode.
100%. Yeah.
Yep. What's it called? What do you think? There's going to be a picnic that comes out of the sky? And then all the food and the table comes down.
Yep.
And then,
with a tent.
Yeah.
And a fire.
Right, and a fire.
Complete set.
And then, Squidward wasn't able to get any of it because the magic conch
dissed him.
Dissed the hell out of him. Even Patrick was like, oh, can I have some of this delicious meal?
Yummy, terrific sandwich.
Yes.
No. Oh, no. Yeah, you're right.
Oh, yeah, for Patrick,
For Patrick, it said, yeah, you good.
Yo. But that's really it. I can't say there were too many jokes.
So, I definitely have the magic conch shell in general as the meme worthy.
Yeah.
But I also agree. You know, it's that sequence where he's like, can I have the spaghetti or the turkey? Neither. How about the soup? I don't think so. Can I have anything to eat? No. And then it's the last bit where he's constantly asking, can't you anything else but no? Try asking again. Can I have something to eat? And the sassiest, no.
No.
I'm like, yo! I will say that this is the second time I took it in notes. This is the second time that Squidward has said, why must every 11 minutes of my life be filled in misery? I'm like, wow. I love that on-the-nose joke where it's like, wow, they're really pinpointing it's been, like, each episode's 11 minutes. I'm like, okay. Yeah, and then, so you had that as meme-worthy and favorite joke. Would you change anything?
Nah, I wouldn't change anything.
Really? Okay.
I feel like it was a cool episode. I couldn't think of anything to change. I didn't really have any questions.
So I'll say this: there's one thing I would change, and I noticed it. I don't know if it's a continuity error.
Mm-hmm.
Also, low key, there was one leaf in the little thing where they did not fill it in like all the way to the color. Sorry to have that little animation error. I'm like, but when the house gets slingshot, and it doesn't get destroyed.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they forgot to animate that or they didn't want to show because obviously they would have died or gotten hurt. But the crazy thing is when they come back to the camp when Squidward goes away, it's been at least a couple days.
Yeah.
That Patrick and SpongeBob have been doing nothing, but the camp is gone. So I'm thinking to myself, that was a pretty decent sized hut for one person.
Yeah.
Why did Squidward disassemble it? Because remember, he built a camp with it. Why did he break it apart to build a barrier circle and a hammock? Essentially, it's like and a hat for himself. Like those are the things that I just
because he's selfish.
Legit. But even if he's selfish, he could have just stayed in the hut. At least he would have had shelter. Like
right.
it just.
Not thinking.
That's one thing I would change. Oh, and there really is no resolution because they find a park ranger, I guess, but he's also a member of the Magic Conch, and they do
Absolutely nothing.
So that's where it was like, all right. So, any final thoughts?
Nah, no final thoughts.
All right. So, My Pretty Seahorse. Okay. This one it's weird.
Yeah, it's not as funny as I remembered it to be.
I have a couple pros. So apparently it is the start of spring in Bikini Bottom, which is an interesting take. And in the course of spring, SpongeBob is planting flowers for Squidward. He notices that they're getting eaten. So then he's like, what's happening?
Yeah.
Turns out it is a horse. And this is where the weirdness comes in. Again, I know SpongeBob is asexual, but why is he a mermaid? Why is he pretending to be a mermaid with his hair majestically in the wind?
I don't know what that was.
There were a couple jokes in here where I'm just like, hey, is this still a kid show? Definitely, he's trying to name the horse. I think the unused name for sure was Debbie.
Yeah.
But it was Grace, Majesty.
Mystery
is the horse's name.
Yeah.
But the unused,
or
Debbie, which hilarious. See, and then there are ones where what was the one that got me? Yeah, where SpongeBob was essentially nude with just like the cloth, and Mystery was painting SpongeBob, and I'm like with the fruit. I'm like,
yeah,
he literally pulled a Titanic.
Yeah, yeah, it was some strange romance going on.
I'm telling you,
I don't know what that was.
That's what I'm saying. But then they would cut back to their collecting stamps. I'm like, no. You can't have 1 and 2 and being in the same thing. So, SpongeBob, of course, takes the horse to work. Squidward, he gets hurt a lot in this. I realize that. The flowers attack him. Gets blown up. But then he gets to work. Mr. Krabs is like, you can't have this horse here. You have to. SpongeBob just neglects it and hides it. And, then basically the bulk of the episode is just SpongeBob trying to avoid getting caught.
Yeah.
So, Heels, on this one, and I have two notes, but what was your favorite joke?
Definitely the naming of the Seahorse.
Okay.
Majesty, Mystery, or Debbie. What else? When Mr. Krabs already finds the Seahorse the first time, gives SpongeBob the warning, and then he was like, SpongeBob, that Seahorse better not be in here. No, Mr. Krabs, that was me. That was then who was making that that noise? Oh, yeah. He's like, oh, that was me. We snore.
We snore.
We snore.
Oh man, okay.
He's like, you need to work on that.
Nah.
So the Seahorse Mystery is eating. He had a she had a couple bites of a Krabby Patty. Yep. Loved it. So now that uh, what's it called? Now that Mystery has like an appetite, she starts eating different things, and then she ate. What was the fish name?
Oh, Old Man
Is that Old
Jenkins.
Man Jenkins?
Where's Old Man
He
Jenkins?
said, "I don't want to be a burden."
As he's being digested, like,
Right.
yo.
So yeah, I would say those are my favorite jokes.
For sure, for mine, it's that first thing where SpongeBob's about to go in and leaves the horse outside, and the two teenagers come in. And again, a very questionable joke, but they're like, "Oh, look, Mr. Krabs got a little kiddie ride. Oh, why don't you try it out?" And I'm like, "Oh, when you saw that quarter come out, oh wait, I don't know where the coin's at. Here it is." You hear the horse make a weird noise, and then it flings him across the yard like.
Get the hell out of him.
As for where, I don't know where, because it's a female horse. I'm sorry, but it was crazy that they put that. I'm like, wow, but it was a hilarious joke.
Yeah.
I'll also say this as notes. It's very rare, like we're watching these. This one had a funky soundtrack. I dug it. Like
I wasn't really listening to the soundtrack.
Like the soundtrack was very not traditional SpongeBob music. Like you could tell it's from the 70s, but like the little montage where it's them, like I was like that funkadelic, like early 70s. I'm like, all right. Even in the like beginning, like it's just very majestic, low key music, even for the horse. Like I don't know, I dug it.
Yeah.
It was a nice, diverse episode for the sake of, like, we don't get the usual tracks.
Yeah.
So I respect it for that. I don't think it had a meme worthy. If you could tell me one, by all means.
No, maybe We Snaw.
Maybe.
We Snaw.
And...
Or Debbie. Just...
Debbie could be Debbie. One. I could see it. Oh, there is... Hold on. Squidward had a funny one-liner. Here we go.
What was it?
When Mr. Krabs was asking for where's SpongeBob, why don't you ask Cowboy Ranch Pants and his eating companion? I'm like, Cowboy Ranch Pants. That
was funny.
I said, yo. I'm going to criticize it. There were 2 forced jokes where I don't get it. So the one was the bowl of onions that was following Squidward.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, we're really digging this deep for a laugh? Like, and then he tried, and the thing is, it wasn't even done, not 1, but 3 times. Like, where he's crying, and then he passes the onions off to somebody. I'm like, all right, we get it. It still doesn't hit.
Yeah.
And they were really trying at the end of this episode, too, when Mystery ate the money, and then because Patrick was supposed to be building a stable, and he ends up hammering a plank of wood on his head. So this is the first SpongeBob episode where I was like, wow, they really have an end credit scene. The thing ends, and then they cut to Patrick just trying to get into the hat store, just constantly trying to go in. I'm like, it's still not funny. Like, I respect you trying to dig for jokes because...
Yeah, they forced that one.
Man, I don't know. Whoever the writer... I'm about to go back and look at the credits. Whoever the writer was on this one, it's like... Just throw another joke in there, please! On that patch, on the SpongeBob status. No, wait, I have 3 kids. Yo.
He's trying to fight for his salary.
Exactly. He's like, please, take it in the writer room.
Did they laugh?
Well, it got rated 43%.
No, I'm finished. No.
That's it. Now he's working on Jimmy Neutron.
Yeah.
Oh! Any final thoughts?
Nah, no final thoughts.
Yeah. Hey, look. I will say this, guys. This is alright. And even the next one, stick to us. But we have the Unseen Band episode coming up soon. I'm pretty hyped for it. Like,
I mean, it's cool, you know. It's going to be funny.
I hope it's... Look, there's 2 jokes that I'm positive still hold up.
Yeah.
But stick with us because, 1, you can't watch it on Paramount Plus, so that means that this might be your exclusive way to low-key kind of hear about that band episode. Another reason to subscribe. Just saying.
Yes.
All right.
Exclusive
Bikini Bottom banter first. So yeah, drop a comment. Let me know any memories you had of this one. Oh yeah. I guess a little fun fact. The episode Club Spongebob, I think it aired like on a VHS. I had that in my notes too, but again, you can already tell the PTSD is kicking in where you just like let's move past.
Yeah.
It was a solid one.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts, Keels?
Nah.
All right. So until next time, this is Jared.
This Keels.
Another episode of Bikini Bottom Banner in the bag.
Thanks for tuning in to another fantastic episode of Bikini Bottom Banter. Don't forget to follow Bikini Bottom Banter on TikTok and Instagram for even more content. Subscribe to them on YouTube and Anchor, plus turn on bell notifications to be updated on their latest episode. And if you've got your own jellyfishing stories or favorite SpongeBob moments, remember to share them with us. You might just hear them on our next episode. So until then, stay bubbly, keep smiling, and remember, subscribe to Bikini Bottom Banter to know all the under the sea.